Hello, movie friends. Welcome to There Will Be Movie Reviews. I am your host, Ryan Holmes. And today, with me, I have once again for the third time, the three-peat, Noah Shigeras. Noah, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really happy to be back. I'm excited to to talk about what we're going to talk about.
We are going to be talking about the newest series from the MCU's Loki. Was just released recently, all 6 episodes, and it I think took us all by surprise. I especially was kind of expecting it kind of to be like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, okay, it was fine, but it was much better than that and more connected to the new multiverse saga or the new edition and
Like phase 4, like
phase
the
4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it's going to be a really
Mhm.
big and great discussion because it's sort of the very beginning of this new era in the MCU with many different characters that we're going to see. But yeah, I'm excited to be discussing this movie or the show. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah. All right.
So, I think we should
So,
just go like episode by episode because there's only 6
sure.
and
That's fine by me. Yeah.
yeah.
Before we do that, though, we got to
Yeah.
talk about the movie news. What has been
Movie
going on
news.
recently, just to warm ourselves up. So,
All right.
have you seen the second trailer of Dune?
Dune, I haven't
Have you
seen
heard
it,
of it
no.
though?
Yes, I have.
Yes, like Timothy Chalamet, Dave Batista, Oscar Isaac, Zendaya,
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Uh, who else? There's a bunch of people in this movie. Javier Bardem. Uh, there's a bunch. Yeah, but it's gonna be a great film. I'm very excited to see this because it's kind of like um it's a science fiction, kind of like Mad Max Fury Road in a way. Have you seen Mad Max?
I haven't actually.
Have you heard of it though?
Yes, I know
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Okay. And so, but yeah, the new trailer was released, and I think it's just gonna be mind blowing. Denis Villeneuve, he's the director, and he directed movies like Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, and Enemy. Uh, what else? Blade Runner, Arrival, a bunch of great films. But I'm excited to see Dune, and I think we got to go check it out because I'm sure it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Now that
Yeah,
theaters are open, like I just
I want to see
really want to
everything.
go and see
Yeah,
like Suicide Squad's next that we're probably gonna go see,
yeah,
and then yeah, whatever comes out.
cool. Yeah. So next on the movie news, Michael B. Jordan is developing a new Black Superman series
Mm-hmm.
about Al Zod. That's the
Mm-hmm.
character, a real character from the comics, actually. And obviously I love Michael B. Jordan. He's a great actor. He's doesn't put in too many bad performances, and but it's gonna be I'll be excited to see it. Is it supposed to be on HBO Max?
Yeah, I think it's a series, or is it a movie?
I think it's
Yeah,
a series. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's a series.
But like,
And
yeah, I hope it's good. I hope that they don't like butcher it or make it too
why?
like
Because he's black.
no, not because he's black. But like, I don't want them to make it too like oh, we're only making this because he's black and there needs to
Mm,
be a black Superman. Like they need to like have a good story and because I don't know, I'm not familiar with the comic, but
yeah,
like it's like because they didn't retcon on Clark Kent, right? He's like a completely different character from
yeah,
Krypton.
yeah,
So yeah, I'll do some research on him.
yeah. And
'Cause,
they just cast a female African American black Supergirl.
Supergirl, really?
Yeah, from what
Oh
I hear,
wow.
yeah, they just did that. They
Well,
casted for the new
leaks.
super. Yeah,
I've seen leaked set photos of a white Supergirl.
really?
Yeah.
Mm, Supergirl casting. There was. I know there's. Yeah, no, maybe actually you might be right. No, or she's mixed. That's what she is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
But there's also the superhero Supergirl TV show with Melissa. Nost, or if that's how you
Right,
pronounce her
her.
name.
That's an old show.
Yeah, but that's an
It's
old.
pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, and also next on the movie news, the box office news. The film Old, M Night Shyamalan's new film Old, is just past Snake Eyes to win this weekend
Mm,
for the box office highest box office film, number one. And
cool.
are you familiar with M Night Shyamalan?
I'm not at all. Or wait,
Sixth
is he the
Sense?
Indian guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made The Last Airbender,
Yeah,
the
he
crappy
directed that one, the
movie.
crappy one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
But he has done good movies. So
Yeah.
have you seen The Sixth Sense?
Yes, I
Yeah. He
have.
did that.
That's
And then
pretty good.
he also did Signs with Joaquin.
Oh yeah.
And he did The Visit. He did The Visit.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like The Visit.
Oh yeah. It's all the yeah, you're
Yeah,
talking to me about that the other
yeah, it's
day.
a good movie.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, me and the woman watched it.
Cool. Do you want to give a shout out to the woman?
The woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my woman.
Do
I
you
don't know,
want to
she
give
probably
her?
won't see this.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Maybe you can tell her. You can tell her later.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. That's it for the movie
All
news.
right.
Not too much this week. I mean,
I
still
figured.
waiting for the Spider-Man
Yeah, I was
No Way
about to
Home
say that.
trailer. Like, I
Like I
mean,
thought it was there's rumors of it going out tomorrow or yesterday, but apparently not. Like
it's so annoying though. Like,
no.
jeez. It's crazy. Like it just I know the anticipation they just keep like I don't know if they're waiting for another series to come out. Maybe after like we watch Shang-Chi, the trailer will come out then. I don't know. It's
No,
annoying.
no way. That's way too late.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like I know it's way too late, but still. But yeah. All right.
Well, yeah, we'll just have to be patient.
I guess. All right.
So,
Time for the
all
discussion
right.
of Loki. All right, so
Loki.
let's begin. So Loki was released 2021, stars Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson, Gugu Mbatha Raw. It might not be pronouncing that right. Gugu, I think. Gugu is her name. Yeah.
Gugu.
Gugu Gaga. Sophia DiMartino and Jonathan Majors as the Conqueror. They don't even say
Yeah.
Kang in it. They just say the
No,
Conqueror,
I don't.
which is cool. I like that though. That addition to it. It's directed by Kate Herron, created by Michael Waldron, and the mercurial villain Loki resumes his role as the god of mischief in a new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. Technically, not after the events of Avengers Endgame, though.
Yeah, it's
It's like
outside the timeline. So.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, this is coming from IMDb. This
Right, right.
but I would say after the original Avengers. But yeah, but yeah, but yeah. Let's begin by talking about the first episode. It jumps right into it, obviously. Right after the events of what we see in Avengers Endgame, but from 2012 after the original Avengers was released, and it was at the very end. And right away, I mean, we haven't seen this in such a long time, so being able to come back and revisit that one scene in Avengers Endgame was already nostalgic for us.
And we get to see like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and all of those
I
the
know.
Avengers.
I know.
It's really cool.
It was, but it happens very quickly where there's no time to waste where Loki is transported to another dimension or in with the space stone or the Tesseract, and he's to some sand dune, and then he's captured by the
TVA.
TVA. Yeah, and that's where we get to understand what the TVA is and what they're like, because we've never seen this before. We've never even heard of this, which is it's kind of weird that we haven't heard of this at all, and like this big organization. But like obviously, it's like, where do you think it is? Where do you think the TVA is? And like
where? Well, I don't know. That's such a hard question because like it exists outside outside the sacred timeline. Like the sacred timeline's here,
Yeah.
but it's like up apart from it. It's like, well, it's
Like,
Kang. Kang made it.
yeah.
It's futuristic. It's like we can't understand it.
Yeah.
It's
And
so weird.
I know it is weird. Yeah. It's yeah, above our imaginations. It's hard to explain even, but it's but right away though, the TVA is also very, it's set on like old classic boring office, uh like related, everything's with paper, and you see like there's
Yeah,
no,
that's interesting. Like it's 1970s
I
technology.
think that's a part of like just like the the art direction that they and making this and making it look interesting to the audience is being able
Hmm.
to just make it look so familiar at the same time. And whereas they could have gone a completely different route of doing it super weird, I think, and making it weird, but it's very interesting, and we're introduced to it very quickly, and how powerful the TVA is, because they see people you see people are using Infinity Stones as like
Yeah, paperweights, they said.
paperweights. Yeah,
Like
it's crazy. Like,
it is crazy. And I gotta imagine that like all those Infinity Stones that the guy had, they're probably from Captain America going like trying to give them back, or like there's just so many theories about where these Infinity Stones could have came from, like different variants that used them.
yeah, I
It's
know.
yeah.
And they say, yeah, because another thing about this is that they say that the Avengers haven't done anything wrong, because Loki asks, why aren't they
Yeah, because
arresting?
they time traveled.
They did technically, but it was supposed to happen technically. You could
Hmm.
argue that
But
like,
like because they didn't mess up anything in the timeline, because as soon as they took the Infinity Stones and went forward in time, like Steve Rogers came back and put it right back in place without
yeah,
ever messing up the timeline.
yes, which is
So,
good. Yeah, which
hmm.
is allowed. And obviously the TVA can assume that he's going to do that, and he's going to put them back because they know everything about the timeline. And yeah, but we have in the first episode, you could not have assumed that Kang was
Uh,
in charge of this at all.
well, there were theories of like who's behind the TVA, but like you never knew. Like people like thought that it could have been Kang, but they thought it could have been Loki or Sylvie or anybody.
Yeah. In the first episode, there's also a lot of character development with Loki alone.
Right.
It was one of the
When
best first episodes we've seen
yeah.
for any of the uh, TV show or the limited series for
Yeah,
Disney
like
Plus.
Mobius showed Loki the rest of his life up until his death.
Exactly, and that was
Really
one of the
interesting.
most emotional
Hmm.
character-driven scenes that we've seen in a while. And it's, you can imagine being able to just see your life literally flash before your eyes, and you're seeing it, just what's going to happen to you and how you die, and that kind of changed Loki's perspective. Obviously, he still is the god of mischief, but he does change a lot
Hmm.
because of that, and he changes his outlook on life, I think, and he realized, and there's a lot of I like to think of that episode as just a therapy session for Loki, because he's talking about his feelings to Mobius, and you also meet the character of Mobius in this episode too, which is great.
Right.
It's awesome to meet him, and
Mhm.
also because it's Owen Wilson. It's fucking Owen
Yeah.
Wilson.
Okay, but before we get on to Mobius, I want to point out how I thought it was kind of weird that Loki went from like a psychotic, like murderous, like he
Oh,
killed 80 people in 2 days. There was that line in Avengers, and then now he's in the TVA. Like it just happened for him. It was like yesterday for him,
mhm.
and now he's like kind of this goofy guy. Like not goofy, but like
More
not
sensitive,
how
and
he was at all in the Avengers, which was yesterday for
I
him.
know, yeah, that is true.
It's kind of
It's also, but I
interesting.
guess you kind of discover that when he's talking to Mobius, though, he says it's kind of all fake. He's supposed to be this, but like he as the god of mischief, he that comes with the duty of being, mischievous and evil, and um, you know, not good to people, and he's also lived a terrible life as the in the shadow of Thor. So he's kind of what's the word? He's just he feels that he has to be like this person that he's actually not. So I guess he exposes that to Mobius in a way, and
Mm-hmm.
he tells Mobius that he just he doesn't want to be like this all the time. But yeah, I do understand what you mean. I thought that too. I thought that throughout the entire like series though, that he was just like I guess it was character development. You can slowly see it, but it happens like right at the first episode, like where he's completely changed instead of
Mm-hmm.
where it could have gone driven slowly. And by the end, he was more sensitive and reliable to the TVA and to Mobius and to Sylvie and more helpful to them. But yeah, but obviously that episode is it was a great build-up. We discovered what the TVA was, and we discovered more about Loki and Mobius and what is supposed to happen, what the series is going to be like for the rest of the for the rest of the show. And we kind of are misled because I assume that for the rest of the series it's just going to be Loki helping out Mobius, like because he says, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he says to him, he goes, you're gonna help us out and track down these other Loki variants and stuff like that. And
Right.
so I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be sick. He's just gonna go like through a bunch of time travel again. I mean, but that would
Mm-hmm.
have just been the same thing as Endgame in a way, because he's just time traveling, finding.
But then at the end of episode one, it teased Sylvie, or like the
Hmm.
Loki variant that they're trying to catch. And then she revealed herself in episode two, and we saw that she was like a girl.
Yeah,
And we were like, whoa, why is Loki a girl? That's
yeah.
kind of weird.
Episode two, yeah,
So, yeah.
that was a fun kind of detective episode. I felt because
Mm-hmm.
it was Loki figuring out um, how to properly take a person out of a time period without disrupting the sacred timeline, and by doing that, they
Mm-hmm.
have to go to a time where, say, a disaster is happening and take that person out, like Ragnarok
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about,
Yeah.
and
Lots of
or
lots of information about the
yeah,
TVA and how the time works and everything.
and yeah, and that was very interesting for us because we were again people seeing Loki or following Loki as he discovers more, and it's a mystery I felt. And then by the final like maybe 20 minutes of the episode where they're in
They
the
go to
future,
2050, isn't it?
yeah, yes, and they go to some futuristic like Walmart or
It's
something,
called
some supermarket,
Roxcart or
yeah,
whatever, which is
yeah.
super cool from the comments from the comics. Roxxon is like the main company that ends up taking over the world, and like it's been all over Marvel. Like, um, in Iron Man 3, um, the where the final battle happens and like where the president is held hostage in the Iron Patriot suit, that's the Roxxon oil station
Oh,
or something.
that's cool.
And yeah, like Roxxon's a company, and in the comics it grows, and we can see that in 2050 that Roxxon is like the the store is really
Mm.
interesting.
Hmm, that's cool.
Mm,
Yeah. And yeah, that final episode or that second episode, the final kind of last 15 minutes of the episode is we discover who Sylvie is, and
hmm.
that's like we're still anticipating who she's going to be. And it's pretty crazy, yeah, seeing a female Loki. It was a big surprise, and
Hmm.
I thought it was I don't know if Enchantress is her character's name.
Enchantress, I think that's, yeah,
The
that's
green,
right.
yeah, the green lady from
Hmm.
she wears the green costume. That's who I thought she was
Right.
originally, but it wasn't. It was just another Loki variant. But
Hmm.
yeah, still, it
Yeah, why's
was
she a girl? Like where? Like she was the variant. That's why she was the variant, because she was a girl. Like, because Loki can shapeshift into anything he wants.
yes.
So
And
I guess.
explain the thing behind Loki and how he
All
uh
right.
the how he yeah, you know it.
Okay, well, Loki can shapeshift into anything. He's also bisexual, but like, whatever. In the comics, he had. So in the comics, he shapeshifted into a female horse, and then he got what's another word for fucked? He
Um,
got fucked by a male horse, and then he gave birth to a horse, so his horse could be his child. It's kind of messed up, but like that's why it's not too weird for him to be a girl.
I see.
So yeah, because
Yeah,
he can be anything he
I
wants.
guess so. Yeah. All right. Whew, I
And
don't know why I'm
then
so
so yeah,
tired, but yeah.
episode 2 ends like we see Sylvie, and then he escapes like because he revealed that he wasn't with Mobius. He wanted to take over the timekeepers. So he was already planning on betraying Mobius, and then he met female Loki, and he escaped with her. And
Hmm.
then yeah, Mobius didn't like that.
No, he did not.
So,
Episode 3.
so definitely the weakest episode of the series.
Yeah, I was not a fan of episode 3 at all. It
No,
was the shortest. It was
shortest.
also
So much talking. Just
yeah,
talk,
too
talk,
much.
talk, talk, talk.
Yeah, not a lot of talking. It was a lot of discovery of who Sylvie is
Yeah,
and what her character
it
is.
was only for that, only for character development for Sylvie.
Yeah. Or so yeah,
Um,
Sylvie, not Sophie. Yeah.
yeah.
And it was it was a lot of discussion and not a lot going on with like it was just it was
There
nothing
were like
special.
some good callbacks, like some good moments, like when Loki was talking about his mother, Frigga, and like funny things, like when Loki slammed his glass down, he was like another, which was exactly what Thor did in the
The
first Thor
original Thor,
movie.
yeah. Yeah.
hmm
I mean,
And
yeah.
then like, but it was still pretty weak.
It was a weak episode. I wasn't I remember just being on my phone the entire time and I was not really a fan of it.
Yeah, I stayed up late every night for each
Till
episode.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And man, I wish we lived on the other side where so episodes would come out at 12.
Yeah, I know.
That it's like
I
yeah.
always see like TikTokers. They're always talking about just like, it's 12 o'clock. It was just released today, or it's just Loki
hmm
episode was just released. Yeah, but yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Uh, episode 4.
Oh, episode 4 was one of the best.
It was one of the best. That was
Yeah.
remind me of episode 4.
So episode 4, um, it starts off with Loki and Sylvie like on that planet that they were on in episode 3. But then the timekeepers, or because they have like a weird moment with each other, like romantic, and then that like makes something go crazy in the timeline,
Mm,
and then that's how the TVA are able to find Sylvie and Loki. And so then they capture them, they get
yes.
separated, and then Mobius is kind of like shitting on Loki. He's like, "What is wrong with you? You're having some kind of crazy, demented
No,
relationship with yourself."
it's more like what is wrong with you, man?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly, exactly.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so he's like, "I want to see Sylvie." Blah blah blah. They go and see Sylvie, and then whatever happens, and then they go see the timekeepers, and then, or actually, I forget because or Sylvie, I don't know, but they end up seeing the timekeepers.
Shows Hunter, I think the character's name is the
Right, right. She was in the jail, and then the black hunter, that girl, she she
Hunter
was listening to
B-15.
Sylvie, and then they went to like wherever, and then Sylvie was able to show her memories, and then they went to stop the timekeepers where Loki and Mobius already were,
In
because the
this, yeah, go
timekeepers,
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah,
the timekeepers wanted to talk to Loki alone or something, and then Sylvie showed up and she threw a sword and chopped off the head, and they ended up being fake. That was one of the biggest reveals because I honestly thought the timekeepers were real. Like,
this is the episode where we discover that that the TVA is kind of BS.
mm-hmm,
It's where we discover
mm-hmm,
that Mobius and all the people in the TVA involved working for the TVA are just variants of uh is
yeah,
that correct?
variants. Yep, they're all
And
variants of people from the sacred timeline.
yeah, and they're being like kind of mind controlled by
Mm-hmm.
mm, the the sacred timekeepers or whatever, the timekeepers, yeah. And
And then
go ahead.
at the end of the episode, the big thing, Loki gets pruned,
Oh yeah, he gets
and we
killed
don't know
like
what happens.
for like the
Hmm
100th time in the
Or
MCU.
Mobius gets pruned first, and we're
Mhm.
like, no, Mobius. And then, yeah, I was really sad. I thought he wasn't going to come back. And then Loki died. And then there was a post-credit scene, which was just one of the craziest moments for me in the series, was when boastful Loki, classic Loki, kid Loki, and alligator Loki were like standing over him, like that. That made me, yeah,
That
I
was
was
pretty
freaking
cool.
out.
That's when you realize.
Mhm.
That's when we realized though that these variants could translate into No Way Home, and because we
Right?
see people that are uh, different versions of Loki,
Right.
and
Like Loki, it doesn't. There's boastful Loki. He's black.
mhm,
He big. He's not at all like the Loki from the Sacred Timeline. So we could have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. They don't look the same as
no,
Tom
they don't.
Holland. Tom Holland's the Spider-Man from the Sacred Timeline.
There's even more
It's
than there's more than one
I
variant of
know.
Spider-Man. If you look at yeah, if you look at in the original um if you look at in that episode, there's like a version of Loki that looks exactly like him, and there's like even
Exactly.
there's yeah, and
There's President Loki was the a variant of Loki from the
yeah,
Sacred
he
Timeline.
looks exactly like
But
him.
then all of the other Lokis were like crazy looking.
I
Like
know.
some of them had masks on. Like some of them could have also looked like the main Loki, but I don't know. And then there was Alligator Loki, which is just awesome. like
Yeah.
like his variant was just like I'm just gonna be an alligator. So he shapeshifted into an alligator, and then
Uh,
they pruned him.
oh
So
yeah, it's too bad.
yeah. And then we
Or
saw Thor. We saw Throg, Thor
yeah,
Frog or Frog Thor. That's
yeah.
super awesome. I wish we got the cutscene because in the trailer there was a scene of like King Loki being like, "Oh, I'm king," and apparently in that scene we were gonna see Thor transform into Throg. Like Chris Hemsworth was supposed to come and be in it and have a
No
cameo.
way.
Yeah, like they were kept it super secret, but then they didn't
Dang,
end up doing it because of COVID, I think.
that's too bad.
So
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Episode 5. Is it
yeah.
anything
This
else? Yeah. So
uh Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say episode 5. That felt like the finale to me because by the end of it, it was like super intense, and there was like this giant storm created by Kang, and it was
The Eliath.
yeah the Eliath, and I thought I was like, whoa, everyone's just swept up into the everyone like yeah, it was intense. It was
Hmm
an intense scene of the episode, and Ravonna was and yeah, Ravonna
hmm
was like she's getting more evil and evil as you can kind of
Or
tell.
she left. Like Mobius was able to go back and be like, "Yo, the TVA isn't real," and then Ravonna finally like believed him or something, and then
Isn't
she
that
just
in
went off
episode
on her
6?
own. Was that episode 6? It
I
might
think
be.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, and then but the fifth episode, that's where we have yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we get to meet all the different variants of Loki. That was a
Right.
fun episode. That
I
was
know,
cool.
especially the end with classic Loki
Oh, that was
making
cool.
Asgard. That was the
Yeah,
one of the probably the coolest one of the coolest scenes in the whole series.
that was pretty neat. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was a cool that was probably my favorite Loki was the classic
Yeah, classic
outfit
Loki.
Loki. Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Although I Kid Loki is so interesting. Like he killed Thor, and that's what like made
Yeah.
hit their timeline. And I saw a funny TikTok. It was like, remember when Thor Ragnarok when Thor was like, when we were kids, Loki or transformed into a snake, and then he transformed back into himself, and he stabbed me. And then so I saw a theory that when Loki did that, when the kid Loki did that, he actually ended up killing Thor by accident. And then, that set off a Nexus event. And so Kid Thor got pruned by the TVA.
Mm,
But, that didn't happen because of the sacred timeline. So
yeah, I
this
see.
is super cool. I'd love to know what like boastful Loki and like all of the Lokis, like why are they
Their
there?
background, yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
was a very yeah, it was a cool episode though. I liked the yeah, the scene of Mobius driving the car with Sylvie,
Yeah.
and that was pretty neat. That was pretty cool. And it was just it was an intense episode. It was very
Mhm.
is more revealing of what
And
the lead up.
so many Easter eggs. It's just filled with Easter eggs. Like
Yeah.
there was Yellow
Yeah.
Jacket's helmet.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
There was
there
also
was
there was a plane called Thanos or something like that.
yeah, the Thanos copter from the
Yeah,
comics.
yeah,
That was awesome. And then also from Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronin's ship. The
yeah.
like that big one that was like crash landed on the
Avengers
ground.
HQ. There was like the
Yup.
big yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
Um, so much cool Easter eggs. And like I think Yellow Jacket was really cool because like um it was a giant helmet, so like he must have gone giant, like Giant Man, and then
Hmm.
maybe that set off a Nexus event.
Yeah.
So like so much like stories that could be told, like especially like because that's pretty much what's coming up with the What If series. It's gonna be what if this happened,
Yeah.
and it's I'm super excited for that.
Are you? Yeah, you're gonna watch What If?
Oh yeah, I'm like because at first like before Loki, we just thought that What If was like oh fun little What If, but now What If the series is gonna be like
Is it gonna be
it's
related? Like,
it's
is
not going to be what if, it's going to be oh, here's what's happening on a different timeline because Loki or because Sylvie made the timeline go berserk.
whoa?
On this timeline, Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum and it's just so like I think I I'm going to assume I think that the last episode of What If is going to have like Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man or something like that.
That'd be
Like,
pretty cool.
or something cool like that, like
Yeah,
the X-Men maybe, or
that'd be neat.
mm-hmm.
They've already planning for a Fantastic Four, so
Oh yeah.
get ready.
All right. Well, before we start, well, yeah, before we talk about that more, let's talk about episode
Yes,
6.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
or at the ending of episode 5, Loki and Sylvie enchant Eliath, and they're able to go see like who controls the TVA, and then it leaves us off as with a cliffhanger, and it's just really cool.
Yeah.
And then we go into episode 6.
Episode 6. Man,
Hmm
that was again. That was more of a talkative
It
episode. That was just
was, but it
discovering.
was
It
a
was
good
I
talkative
didn't
episode.
care. Yeah, I was fine with that too. I was listening the entire time to everything
Hmm
the
hmm
Conqueror was saying. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
he's not, because that's not Kang.
yeah.
That's
No,
He
that's
Who
what I'm saying.
Remains.
The Conqueror. He calls
Yeah.
himself like he says like some the He Who Remains, the Conqueror. That's what he says. Like those are the names. He doesn't
Hmm
say Kang though.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that episode when they were discovering, like when the door opened, or the elevator opened, like
hmm
were you just getting like,
It was well, I was quite disappointed. I was expecting like full on a comic accurate Kang to just be sitting there like with the purple helmet and
oh yeah,
every
and the green
yeah, and
purple
then like
blue
this
suit, yeah.
smiley, funny black guy is like, hey guys, yeah, what's up? And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But then
Did you
like,
know it was Kang though?
no, I didn't
Like,
know that was Kang.
uh,
I knew it was Kang as soon as he was like, some people call me the Conqueror, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Kang. Because I called it. I was theorizing myself that it was Kang the Conqueror.
well, I knew it was Kang right away because I knew I was looking at the Ant-Man and the Wasp cast list, and it says Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, and I
Oh
know,
really?
yeah, it does, and it's been
Oh
like that for a while. He's already been cast. He's been cast as Kang for a while.
oh, I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
and so I had looked at it before, and I knew that face. I was like, okay, well, that's
Hmm.
Kang the Conqueror. I looked,
Okay. Okay.
and so that's I was like, oh shit, that's crazy, but
Yeah.
it was excuse me, it was yeah, it was a very intense episode. There was a lot going on
Right.
involving
Sylvie and Loki
yeah,
conflict. Like Sylvie just wanted to
yes.
kill him. Loki didn't. It's it was super crazy. And like they fought a lot, and then Sylvie grabbed like his futuristic temp pad and just kissed Loki. Kind of weird,
It was a little weird.
but like I can't help think that if there was a girl version of myself, like a girl version who was exactly like me, understood everything, like went through the same experience, like I'd be able to connect with this girl even though she's me.
That is true.
So yeah,
What if she's super hot?
that I yeah, I don't know. Well, because like yeah, she could be super hot. Although like she's not, because Sylvie and Loki are like completely different. It's not like Sylvie's just like Tom Hiddleston with makeup or whatever.
True. Yeah.
So yeah.
That's funny.
Mhm.
It's a different look on that
Yeah,
sort of
so
thing.
then Sylvie kisses him and then she betrays him, sends him back to the TVA.
Yep.
But that's after Kang explains everything and like the timeline, like it's just so crazy. Like Kang, and yeah, it's interesting.
It is. Kang's world is also it was very neat seeing the giant like building, the giant castle. That was cool. I
Hmm.
was like, what is going
Yeah,
inside
like do you think
there?
he make that? Like maybe. Or how did
I'm
he get
sure.
there?
It's such a mystery,
I
man. Like
know.
there's
Like,
so
well,
much. Yeah.
because Kang, let's talk about Kang's origin.
Okay.
So he said, like I'm gonna go off the comics, but also what he said in Loki. So he's from the 31st century. So what would that be? Like the year 3000 or 9 or 20
No, it would not be.
31st century would be the year 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah. Yep,
Okay.
the year 3000. And that's when he's from the comics. His name is like Nathaniel or whatever. I forget his last name, but he's so smart. He's so crazy, and he's like the smartest person on earth in this year. And so he figures out he figures out that there's a multiverse, and he figures out how to connect and talk with people from another multiverse. So what
Yeah.
he does is he finds himself in another multiverse, and the two of them talk. And then eventually, like it gets so like it's just normal. It's almost like Rick and Morty, how there's like a multiverse, multiple Ricks, and then all these Kangs, all these different variants, all these multiverses, all these worlds go to war with each other, and there's a huge, just massive war. So then Kang, like one of the variants of Kang, um, like I don't know, he makes one sacred timeline. He gets rid of all the other multiverses and just makes one timeline to create peace. Because without the sacred timeline, there would be a multiversal war,
Yeah.
and that's the plot of Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. It's gonna be chaos
Yeah.
with all the multiverses.
Poor like Doctor
Hmm.
Strange, man. After
I know. I'm
friggin'
so
Sylvie.
excited. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. It's
Like, are you
crazy.
more excited for Multiverse of Madness or No Way Home?
Probably No Way Home on it. But
Yeah.
like I am still excited for that's probably
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, that's actually your top three things for today is top three most anticipated MCU projects.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Like, yeah, we'll get to that later.
yeah.
But then, so yeah, it ends. Um, Sylvie ends up killing He Who Remains. It's crazy because like it's just vengeance she wants, because she blames him for like getting rid of her timeline because he created the TVA, and so she kills him, setting off the timelines, and you can see it, and it's just so
I say branch out and just
yeah.
go
And
chaotic.
so I
We
don't
also
you might have seen this, but if you play the WandaVision finale
yeah.
and the Loki at the same time, as soon as like the multiverse starts to branch out, is the exact time when Wanda becomes the Scarlet Witch, when she like fully unleashes, has her outfit.
That's
It's like I
crazy.
don't like I don't know if that's a coincidence, or like if that was meant to happen, or it's just so cool because at the end of WandaVision, um Wanda's like tapping into the dark magic with the book. She hears Tommy and Billy. That's Tommy and Billy from a different timeline.
Jeez.
It's just it's so just so excited for Multiverse of Madness because Multiverse of Madness is gonna be like a sequel for WandaVision
Yeah.
and I seriously wonder if Loki season 2 is gonna come out before or after. Because like
It's supposed to be 2022, right?
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it might be after. It might almost be like an epilogue to Multiverse of Madness. Or it could be like a prequel, or it could just be before to set up Multiverse of Madness further. So like I don't know. And also I heard there's a rumor that Chris Hemsworth is gonna be like almost a main character for Loki season 2.
That's gonna. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome. There's also another thing about episode 6 is we also. I don't know if you already said this. It was that Kang is also this variant of Kang is like a good Kang. So there are variants of
Mm-hmm.
others. Did you say this?
I was no, yeah, kinda.
Like
You explain it more.
how there are variants that are good. This Kang that we saw was a good. He was not nearly as evil. Like obviously Kang is not he's not to be trusted, but this Kang was fine. Whereas there are other Kang the Conquerors that are just flat out just plain evil, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
The
that's
conquerors, they want to take over
yeah,
everything.
exactly. He wants to control everything. And it's scary because you realize that there are Kangs out there that just yeah, it's scary because
Yeah,
we
so
haven't
now
even met these yet. We haven't
I know
met
since
these.
we're on the Kang variants, I want to talk about Iron Lad. Iron Lad is part of the Young Avengers, um, which we're probably gonna be getting soon. So Iron Lad is a young version of Kang the Conqueror. And Kang the Conqueror went back in time to tell young Kang about like whatever. But then young Kang was like horrified of what he'd become. So he went back in time and like watched the Avengers and then but since Kang is like a hyper smartest man alive, he was after Iron Man died in the comics, he took up the mantle as Iron Man or and became Iron Lad and he fought with the Young Avengers, which included Tommy and Billy, Wiccan and Speed,
Yeah.
um, like Patriot, which we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop. Like the MCU is setting up the Young Avengers, so I think it would be a good chance for us to see Iron Lad in the MCU, who
Mm,
is Kang the Conqueror. So like a young version of Jonathan Myers.
that'll be cool.
So yeah,
All
I hope we
right.
see that.
Is that it for Loki? Anything else to
Um,
add?
well, yeah, I still need to talk about the ending of Loki.
Okay, okay.
So Sylvie kills Kang the Conqueror. Bam, the multiverse is set off,
Yeah.
and then Sylvie's like, "All right, cool." But then it cuts to Loki. He's in the TVA.
Oh
He's
yes.
like, "Oh crap!" And then he goes. He wants to find Mobius. He's like, "Mobius, Mobius," and then Mobius is like, "Who are you? Wha- What's wrong?" And then um Loki saw the statue where the three timekeepers used to be, and it's comic accurate. Kang the Conqueror is like, and then it cuts, and we get the credits, and I'm waiting for the post credit scene because I was sure that there was going to be a post credit scene. But then there wasn't. It was just Loki will return for season 2,
I
which
was
is
kind of mad about
great.
that. But yeah, that's still good. That I
Yeah,
would have liked a post credit scene.
same. Like something to tease, like maybe Doctor Strange or Wanda or
Yeah,
yeah, could have
that'd
been
be cool.
something.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that finishes it off for Loki. A great series. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rate the series of Loki out of 10?
I give it a 8.5.
8.5?
Yep.
Why an 8.5? Feels
Because
low to me a little bit. Like from what I would have
yeah,
thought you would have maybe done like 9 or 9.5.
yeah, I was thinking 9, but like I don't know. I definitely I wanted more connection to Doctor Strange, or I wanted more connection to just like the future of the MCU, which like it's set up, but it didn't really give us any like glimpses at.
Hmm.
I would have liked more like an Easter egg or like more Easter eggs
I know what you mean.
or yeah, like kind of more fan service.
Yeah.
So, but like I mean, it was still so good.
For
I loved
me,
it.
it would have been I would give it a 8.5 or 8 out of 10,
Okay.
and because I felt like they overshadowed a lot of Tom Hiddleston's Loki. I don't think there was. It felt like he was a. I mean, he felt like I know it's about the variants of Loki too, not just Tom Hiddleston. But I would have liked to see more of him because he's like the title
Mhm.
character, and
Mhm.
it's about what I felt was Tom Hiddleston's Loki. But it's still it was a great series. It was not nothing like a very solid. You know, it was solid. There was nothing
Yeah.
wrong, but like and but I felt they should have had like the last episode. I felt like there's a lot about Kang the Conqueror. Obviously, he's the villain, so like you have to understand like there's gonna be a lot of him too. But like still, I would have liked to see some Loki in that, also some more of him and his development as a character as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, top three things, Noah. Most
About Loki.
anticipated.
Oh,
No,
okay. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Top most anticipated MCU projects. You go first.
I think it's got to be Multiverse of Madness, and then No Way Home. But I'm like, Multiverse of Madness is gonna be crazy. It's directed by Sam Raimi. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like a horror movie
Ooh,
almost.
that's gonna be fun.
It's just I don't know. But then like Spider-Man No Way Home is a close second. I'm so excited for that. Like it's gonna be Peter Parker like on the run. Like I don't know how they, because remember at the end of Far From Home, like Peter Parker was in trouble. People think he killed Mysterio. People, I don't know. It's just gonna be so cool. And then I will be quite disappointed if there's no hint or if there's no Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire,
So will I, my
which there is
friend.
a chance of it not happening, but there's a big chance of it happening.
I don't know.
So
There hasn't been, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that Willem Dafoe is gonna be in it though, as Green
yeah, and
Goblin.
Alfred, what's his Alfred
That's
Manoa?
confirmed.
Momoa?
Molina and
Yeah. So
also
like if he's confirmed, then like come on. It's gotta
and Jamie
it's
Foxx
gotta be.
is also confirmed
Yeah, as Electro.
as
Just
Electro.
like if that's confirmed, then they've gotta have something with Toby Maguire or
Yeah. And last one, is
and
there
then
another one?
um I'm excited for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I think that'll be cool. I'm excited to see Yelena again.
Ooh, yeah, Lena's
And see
awesome.
her with Kate Bishop and Hawkeye and then yeah, but I have to say I'm not excited for Shang-Chi.
Or
Like it's
Eternals.
just kind of gonna be like whatever. I'm more excited for Eternals than I am for Shang-Chi. I think the Eternals will have a lot to do with the future, but I think Shang-Chi is gonna be like whatever.
Mm.
Like I'm most excited to see Abomination and Wong fight. Like
Yeah.
that's it. Like come on, like this Asian guy who's martial arts, and then he has like these 10 rings on his wrist that give him like powers or whatever. I don't know. Like maybe it'll be cool, but
Yeah,
um,
totally.
yeah.
I think my top three would be all right. So
Actually, hang on. I'm actually more excited for What If than I am for Hawkeye.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. My number one is uh Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm also
Okay.
excited for Let There Be Carnage, but that's technically Sony.
Well, we don't know now with the multiverse. It could be a whole. Yep.
Yeah. Also, Let There Be Carnage. Um, if that's in there, I won't count that one. I'll do it as an honorable mention, and then also into Multiverse of Madness, and then Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Thor: Love and Thunder is quite a bit away though. It's 2023, isn't it?
Yeah, but still.
Or is it? Is it 2022? I don't know.
It's
I
like
know.
it's already been like announced and like they're filming
Yeah.
it right now. So I think they wrapped filming.
Yeah.
No,
I thought.
2022. It's
Yeah.
2022. May
Right.
6th, 2022. So that's
May
not that
6th.
far.
So that's like the first half of. It's within the year.
Yeah,
Wow.
not even that far away.
Oh, my poster fell down.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Does that sum it up for the Loki episode?
Uh,
I feel like you
yeah.
have something else. You have anything else
I
to
don't know. I
say?
kind of want to talk about just the future of like what's gonna happen, like what if, and then
I
because
didn't know
what if
what if.
is
I didn't know what if was actually like. I thought it was just a little short film, like short animated
well,
film thing. Like
that's what I was originally thinking, but then after I saw Loki, I was like, this could be multiverse canon.
Mm.
Like it did happen on in the multiverse, and now that like the multiverse is a huge thing. Like so, you know how there's like the branch, like the sacred timeline, and like things branched off. There were so many branches. I think what it's gonna happen is like they're just gonna pick one of those branches, and they're gonna be like, in this multiverse, in this branch, Peggy Carter takes the super soldier serum,
it
or
also it also
like
focuses on that guy, the
the Watcher.
the Watcher. Yeah,
So he could like I can imagine him like at the start of every episode, he'll be like observing the sacred timeline or watching it and be like, let's take a dive into this one.
yeah.
And in this one, they become zombies, or in this one, yeah,
I know.
like it's gonna be so cool.
And then there's also the yeah. What if? And then I'm trying to think. There's who's gonna be in what if?
Hawkeye, I think
Peggy,
it's, or you
Karen
talk about
Gillan.
like different episodes, what there would be.
Yeah, Loki's
Yeah,
in it. Chris Hemsworth's in it.
mhm.
Uh, Killmonger,
You know who was like, I'm too good to do my voice lines for,
Brie Larson.
yeah, Brie
No,
Larson.
she didn't
Like,
do that.
yeah, well, she probably just couldn't make it or whatever. But like everybody else did their lines except for like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, like because they're done. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. But Brie Larson is still like a huge part. I feel like she could have.
Is her character even in it?
Yeah, Captain Marvel's in it, but it's another girl voicing Captain Marvel.
Mm. Yeah,
It's
they've
not
got like
Brie
everyone:
Larson.
Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd, Mark Ruffalo,
I
Sebastian
know.
Stan,
They're all
Stanley
voicing their
Tucci's coming
characters.
back, Chadwick Boseman, Natalie Portman,
Yep.
Samuel
Haley
Jackson.
Atwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be cool.
Hmm.
It's good that they voiced them. I'm happy that they did that.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Thank you
Hmm.
guys so much for tuning in. It was a great episode with Noah. Once again, we're gonna have to we'll
Hmm.
do what if when it comes out.
Oh
And we'll
yeah.
talk about that. Do Shang-Chi maybe, or do all the Marvel stuff.
Maybe. Yeah. We could do like Shang-Chi and Eternals in one or something.
Mm-hmm. Sounds
So.
good. And then Spider-Man No Way Home, we should do like a hype episode, just like it, like before, like after we've seen all the trailers,
Hmm.
everything. We're gonna assume, like, guess, think
Yep.
about what's gonna happen in this episode. Just
Yes.
talk about that. We'll do a bonus episode or something like that
Yeah.
for you
Just like
guys.
kind of like maybe like a shorter one.
Yeah, like a
Just.
30 minutes just talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll be sick. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the same name. There will be movie reviews. Yeah, so on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And yeah, you can check the account out on all those platforms to listen to. And yeah, but thank you guys so much for listening. Noah, it's been a
Yep.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
No
So
problem.
much fun.
All right. That's it. Thanks, guys.